Hi and welcome to How to Wire Your Hot Rod Part 1. Get an old vehicle like this, 1964 model vehicle, and we're looking at wiring that is 30 plus years old, deteriorated, people have cut into it in many a times. Some of the things that you really want to look for when wanting to know whether you want to rewire it. Things like this type of wiring here, right? It's been cut into many a times, it's got numerous amount of joins, it's going to fail. You're putting a lot of effort into your project, you're putting a lot of expense into your project. You don't want to be broken down on the side of the road because a wire's broken. The first thing to start to do is draw up a list on what you want to do. In this particular car, we're going to do everything from the headlights to the tail lights to the engine. So first step is to remove everything from the engine bay. Now, when I say that in everything you want to do is remove everything from the engine bay in the way of wiring. So what we've done is we've unplugged it. Now most harnesses will unplug. Some of them go through a firewall, so you may have to cut it. When you go through and cut it, don't cut it off directly at the firewall. Cut it with about 6 inches free, so if you have to trace a wire back through the loom, you can at least then untape it and trace it. So we're going to remove wiring like this. You'll see over here we've already removed partial of it, and we've also drilled a hole to bring our new body grommet through for the new wiring. What we're going to do in this case too is we're going to hide the wiring. So we've already laid out a demo on where we're going to run the wiring and what we're going to do. We're going to remain with the battery in the front. What we're going to teach you is will apply to both battery in the boot and battery in the front. You'll see that we've got a different engine in this. It's actually a fuel injected engine, and we're going to wire that up as well. Keep in mind too, before you go too far into your project, what you're going to use to cover the wiring and come through the firewall with. That's a body grommet that we use for coming through the firewall. The wiring will sit in the grommet like that, and you can put a waterproof sheathing over the edge of it. That's a nylon braid that expands out and it contracts, and that will cover the wiring and keep it all together so it doesn't rub or fray on anything. So I've worked out I'm going to remove all the wires. Now I'm going to start to lay them. We've removed everything in the engine bay. I think now we'll show you how we've removed it in the rest of the car. Okay, now we're on the interior of the car. You'll notice that I've removed the cluster and dash pad. Now that's taking about an hour to remove out of this vehicle, but the benefits to doing that saves me about 5 hours and a lot of grief. It allows me to get in behind the dashboard, have a look at how the wires have been run in the original format and what I'm going to do. It also allows me to remove the wiring with no stress. You'll notice I've placed application tape around here. That's so when I'm dragging wires over the dashboard, I'm not going to scratch it in any way. Now what this has allowed me to do is remove all the old wiring. Now you can see the bird's nest that we were dealing with, right? There's been a lot of people cutting and joining into wires, right? And we're also still running this 1960 style fuse box. Now the problem with these fuses are if they heat up over time, cool down, they spread, they lose their tension, and the fuses don't make contact. That can be a potential fire. So we're going to replace it with a modern day fuse box, relay box, and we're going to mount that behind the dashboard here as well. So by removing this dash panel allows us access in. As I said, it takes about an hour to do on most cars, and it will save you a lot of time and effort.